It's a lot easier at that point to sit there and swoop in and make those moves. And truthfully, they go and they raid other programs that have taken guys. We go to these camps all the time, and we see kids that are committed to MAC schools, and the MAC coaches are like, "Hey, we really would appreciate it if you wouldn't talk this kid up. We're trying to sit there and sneak him through." You just can't sneak anybody through these days, but it's still type of that kind of situation. And it's not that the SEC just picks on Group of Five conferences for that. The top teams in the SEC will go and raid the recruiting rosters of other teams in the SEC as well. You'll see Alabama go after Auburn guys. You'll see Georgia go after Florida guys, vice versa. And it's just kind of where it is. But I want to get back into another comment that I saw from Michael in there about waiting until December. You understand that you can't really force a top kid to just commit quicker. Hey, we know you want to sign at the Under Armour game, but we want you to do it now, and we're just going now or never. You can't do that. So once again, you can sit there and ham and egg and knee slap everything about, well, here in June you haven't done anything. If you heard something I've called the September Heisman, ask Michigan fans about that. They've won it 20 straight years with the September Heisman. It doesn't mean anything until you get to the finish line. So, you can guffaw and laugh all you want, but it's just, it's pointless.
Alabama has the number 6 class right now, not nationally, in the SEC. There are only 3 teams in the SEC with fewer commits than Alabama right now. They have 4. To tell you how early it is. Another example of how early it is. Alabama class is ranked ahead of Alabama right now nationally. Boston College, Nebraska, Virginia Tech, TCU, Minnesota, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Pitt, Colorado, Iowa, Wake Forest, Baylor, Northwestern, Cincinnati, Penn State, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. Come on. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here, guys?
Well, you're just answering questions, I guess. You guys do it well. Bring a little perspective here. It is not even mid-June, and we got 6 months to go until National Signing Day, which is typically around December 15th. So that middle Wednesday in the month. So it is a long, long ways away. Yakov 22 brings up a point of concern, but it doesn't seem to be catching up with Ohio State, and that's that there are more 4-stars in Dade and Broward County than in Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania combined. It's just, I know I'm asking the impossible question, but how does Ohio State do it and continue to do it? And what are the prospects for the future? I counted this the other day. We know about California, Texas, and Florida, of course. Now they're joined by Georgia. Georgia's, by many measures, surpassed California. I counted 22, and I'm going to have to double check this. I don't want to be wrong, but I believe it was 22 4-stars in the state of Alabama. In Ohio, it's 7. That took me back a little bit.
I'll throw this out here really quick, though, and it's not to bite the hand that feeds me in the recruiting industry, but these star rankings are arbitrary as well. And if you have evaluators that just really are enamored with a certain area and seem to grade kids in that area higher, that's going, it's going to create a bit of an imbalance. So, I think that we could talk about the population shifts, and we've certainly seen as some of the industrial centers in the upper Midwest have kind of dried up and not necessarily been able to pivot to other industry. And people are moving to Charlotte, Atlanta, Florida, Birmingham, wherever. You're going to see a shift in kids, but I also am very quick to say that these rankings are far from absolute at this point. And I don't get too caught up in certain outlier areas in terms of when they have, 9 5-stars versus 7 5-stars, or however you're going to have it, because we're all going to have our opinion. And, the truth of the matter is that we certainly have seen 5-stars that have gone to Ohio State not pan out. We've seen 5-stars that have gone other places that have not panned out. Just as we've seen 2-stars and 3-stars and other, that have gone to Ohio State and other programs go on and have stupendous careers. So I don't get caught up, but I think that part of it really does go into the population shifts, and part of it too is I just think that there's some more vocal advocates for kids in certain areas than other places.
To play off of your point, Kevin, I did see a list recently, and knowing these trends and how severe they've gotten, where states that I would not have considered a couple of years ago, like in Alabama, passing Ohio, when you take it to the NFL level, I saw a list of NFL players and where they originated, current NFL players, and I was gladly surprised that Ohio State still ranks pretty high on the NFL origin list.
Yeah, we're not far away from when Ohio was 5, 4 or 5 in terms of the states, in terms of star rankings. And, like if you put Ohio and Western PA together, I mean, it was kind of right there with some, with the big 3. So I think the thing is when we sit there and we look at where the NFL talent is, we still have a couple years of a bubble in terms of, we're not talking about high schoolers. We're not even talking about collegiate kids at that point. We're talking about grown blank men who've been playing in the league and have made a name for themselves and everything else. So, Ohio is still going to be able to turn out its guys, but we've seen a shift within the state of Ohio. It used to be that it was Cleveland. That's where all the kids were coming from. And then it was Cleveland and Cincinnati. Well, now Central Ohio is certainly ahead of the game out of everybody. And I think it's because of the strength of the economy in Columbus. And we've seen people just even within the state come down from Cleveland and up from Cincinnati because, the Ohio economy, or the Central Ohio economy, is doing well enough and it's diversified enough that there's a lot of opportunity.